All right, so from talking about making ojojo to talking health now, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to your eyes, and it's so good to have someone who can talk about your eyes, especially regarding the fact that we're in a digital world now, and sometimes we find ourselves looking so much at the screen and at several different gadgets. And on Health this morning, we're joined by Dr. Sharon Ekene. She's a well-grounded and experienced optometrist, and she'll be discussing digital eye strain and the possibility of preventable blindness. It's such a pleasure to have you in the studio with us today.
It's a pleasure to see you today, Mary.
Absolutely. Very well. Very well. Okay, so let's hit the ground running. Let's start from talking about eye strain. Many people do not know that there is such a thing as digital eye strain. Tell us more about that.
All right. Digital eye strain is something that occurs due to the use of constant gadgets, the phones, the laptops, the tabs, and all of that. And it's also called computer vision.
Vision syndrome, that's CVS.
Yes, CVS.
Okay.
Okay. Most people, most of us, the world has gone digital. So our daily life, we see us spend about 7 to 8 hours daily looking at the screen. And with this comes different symptoms that occur to the eye because of this thing. You could have things like redness of the eye, there is teary eyes, there is itchy eye, there is funny sensation. I use funny because people have different ways they describe. Some will say, there's something funny going on. Some would say, I've got sand in my eyes. So there are different ways people actually get to tell you that they're dealing with stuff. And then, of course, there's the physical extraocular symptoms that come with this computer vision syndrome, backache, what they call the computer technique, all of this.
Some people suffer from headaches as well.
Yes, the headaches,
Looking at
blurriness, heaviness
yes.
of the eye,
Yeah.
dizziness.
Yeah.
These are all digital eye strain because of the use of the gadgets. And with time, we notice that we see this more with kids because we tend to give our kids gadgets earlier. Not that it's a bad thing, but there should be a control. These days, you see some mothers, they're busy, they want to do something. As young as 6 months, you put something and put the baby to start looking at the screen so that you can quickly, no judgments, but these things have repercussions.
Long-term
They have long-term effects on the eye. So these are what actually lead to digital eye strain. Now, when they say preventable blindness, when you introduce it early to someone, a baby, there's a possibility that some things could go wrong because the child's eye is still in developmental stages. So some will be stunted this way, and then the effects will now show on another way. So yeah, these things happen.
So I like the fact that you mentioned preventable because that's what I'd like to focus on. So these days, it's almost inevitable. The fact is, we all have to look at screens for one reason or the other. Even now, children are being asked to do their research.
Yes, online.
Yes, for their schoolwork online. So looking at a screen is almost part of our lives. But how do you make, how do you make the most of the situation in the sense that how do you prevent this usage from affecting your eyesight?
First off, control. Let me start with the children and I walk up to the adults. For kids, there should be control, time control on the use of gadgets. You don't let a child sit with a gadget 10, 12 hours. Even at some point, 3, 4 hours is a bit too much per time. The child should go out, play, walk the eye exercise. Because when we're on gadgets, we're looking at 40 cm away from us. That's actually the much we can do. At most 1 meter away. But the eye needs to function from a distance to near. So when you have the child always engaged at a short point, there's every probability the child will end up short-sighted. So how do we prevent that? We prevent that by letting the child have a particular time they're on the screen, take them off it, and then let them go out and exercise the eyes. We've got muscles in the eyes that need to work from the distance to the near, in and out, and that helps. But when it's stunted on one end, there could be issues. And remember, if a child or anyone is short-sighted for a long time, there could be probability of a degeneration that can lead to blindness.
Okay.
That's why it's a preventable. Now for adults, we also have things like dryness of the eye coming up. We have things like tears coming down the eye. The truth is when you are handling a symptom and dealing with it without proper control, it could lead to things you do not want to happen. And that's what we're trying to avoid.
Okay.
So time control should be put in place. when you're doing this.
So now you've mentioned control, and it does seem like control is the major part of handling this. So let's talk about screen time according to age range. So we'll talk about screen time from 6 months to 2 years, 2 years to 4 years, like that. What would you say is the recommended screen time? By the way, screen time is the duration or period of time you use your gadgets. So what would you recommend?
6 months has no business looking at the screen. The eyes are still very tender. They're still being developed. The muscles are getting into shifting into shape and all of that. So really, for a child at 6 months, they should concern themselves with seeing their mother. They should concern themselves with appreciating vision around them. Thank you. They should concern themselves with appreciating vision around them every time. They should also concern themselves with things that will help the eye muscles grow. Then when the child gets to 1, 2, you can let a child watch something on screen for maybe 30 minutes, and that's it. Give them building blocks, Lego blocks. There are things, physical things they need to learn to touch, to feel. Montessori kind of training. That is what they should concern themselves with at that time. So teach them and reduce screen time, 30 minutes, max 1 hour. Then when we get into the primary school, you could increase it. An hour still, the truth is an hour till maybe 7, an hour per day. Because the eye still needs to learn to shift from the short-sighted level to the long-sighted. So they should appreciate the world around them. They should appreciate nature. These things help the eye muscles function properly. Then as we get older, to teen years, these are the, well, I should say that's the most problematic most parents have, because children are trying to be themselves.
Yes.
So yes, you really can only control based on the hour of time you let them hold onto their phones. So there should be more like, I give you your phone after 2 hours, you return it. I give you your phone after 2 hours, 30 minutes. You return it, but no more.
2 hours.
Yes, 2 hours. Then for adults, we work with our computer. We earn our living with our computer. So I can't tell you this is the number of hours, but I can only tell you things to do while you're on it. So there's something called the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, take your eyes off from your system for 20 seconds and look at 20 feet away from you.
Oh, okay. 20-20-20. Take your eyes off the screen every 20 minutes for 20 seconds and focus on somewhere as far as 20 feet away from you.
Yes.
Wow, that's
While
amazing.
you do that, notice you're moving your vision from short
to long. So
and
you're also exercising your eye muscles. Really, thank you so much for your time, Dr. Sharon Ekene. It's been very enlightening. Thank you so much indeed.